About 970 WKHL. Laura Dwyer Slecki made it
Here I am
On
in
time.
the house.
on time.
Okay, well, today we've got Irene Lacrone from the Cradle to Career Network. And I thought it would be fun to have her on and update us on what's going on with that network.
Well, thank you for having me, Laura. I appreciate it.
So tell us what the Cradle to Career Network is.
The Cradle to Career Network is a group of educators and community and business leaders all working together toward common goals in education. It's a community-wide, collective, collaborative effort to address the social, financial, and academic barriers to student success.
And this has been going on, the network was formed how long ago?
It's almost 2 years ago since the first funding came in from the Michigan College Access Network, and we started the conversation. It's formally been a network since March of 2013.
Okay, and is that primarily where you get your funding from, or are there other sources?
The original funding came from the Michigan College Access Network, and their goal is that 60% of all residents in the state of Michigan will have a college degree or a valuable credential by 2025. That's also the goal of the governor and Lumina Foundation, a lot of the other big entities that are interested in education. And in addition to Michigan College Access Network funding, the school districts were able to repurpose some grant money to help support the work of the network.
And have you seen any improvement from when you started to today on education, or is it too early to?
Well, in a lot of ways, it's too early. Really moving the needle on education takes a lot of time and a lot of really deliberate work. And we do track a lot of data. We track data from kindergarten readiness, fourth grade reading scores, fourth grade math, all the way through remediation in college. So it's kind of early to say that we're really having an impact on those things, but there's been a lot of activities that have come about because of the work of the network and because of these groups of people coming together to talk about these goals.
So I know you have, because I'm on your council, which I'm proud to say I'm on that council, representing the city, but I know that you have different groups within there, like early childhood. So tell me what those groups are. Tell our listeners what those groups are.
Okay, well, the first one is the Great Start Collaborative. We've had a Great Start Collaborative in Jackson County for many years, and it's a wonderful network of people. And so they continue to act as the early childhood planning entity for the Cradle to Career Network. So they're a part of the network. And we have an elementary action team, middle school action team, high school, post-secondary, and there's also a community engagement team.
Okay. Has there been any surprises that you've seen? Any,
You know, that's a good question, because sometimes the work is difficult. Organizing large groups of people and getting everyone to work toward a common goal can be difficult. It can be challenging. But Jackson we just found ourselves to be in a really unique position where we had the right people with the right attitudes in place. And we're getting a lot of attention from outside of our community, from the state level and even from the national level, because of this really cooperative attitude that Jackson has around these common goals.
That's pretty cool. I was up at the Michigan Municipal League 2 years ago, and Jackson was used as an example in their, well, what was that called? There was some meeting that they were talking about the Cradle to Career.
Yeah,
But it wasn't called Cradle to Career, it was called something else.
It was probably the Michigan College Access Network.
Yeah. And Jackson was used as the example.
Yeah, that's
so.
great. We're always glad to be the good example.
Right, exactly.
I'm actually on my way to a meeting right now when I leave here in Lansing with the Michigan College Access Network, and we're meeting with a group of people from Move Ed, which is part of this national movement toward increasing our nation's educational attainment, so that we're kind of back up at the top of the pile. We used to be the best educated nation in the world, and we're down to about number 10 now.
All right. And so it used to be we're pushing for 4-year degrees, and that's not the case anymore. Now it's trade skills are good, because not everybody's college bound.
Absolutely. No, everybody is not college bound. Not everybody, some people's skill sets are just much, much better suited to other things. So we have a lot going on in post-secondary education that it's not considered traditional college. We have the new early middle college through the Jackson Area Career Center, and
What is the early middle college?
that's a really great example of collaboration. So that's business leaders working with the schools, and high school students actually will spend 5 years in high school, but they'll graduate with an associate's degree. They'll graduate with a certificate that makes them immediately employable, and all of their academic costs are sponsored by a business that's also providing them with an internship experience while they're still in high school and while they're attending the Career Center.
And is that happening right now, or does that start the first of the year?
No, I believe it's,
Because there's,
I know that it's in the works right now. I'm not sure if the kids have actually started their internships yet, though.
okay, is that the one that the manufacturers put together?
Correct.
Okay, I think
Correct.
that starts the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
That was pretty impressive. The business people really pulled strings and went to the state and made that happen in a real short period of
Oh,
time.
yeah, and there's a lot of businesses that have really become excited and engaged in this process. And actually, the demand was a lot greater than what the school district was expecting.
Well, and I have talked to like the Builders Association, and there used to be a trades center for building right at Jackson High years and years ago, I believe.
There is still one part of the Jackson Area Career Center.
Yeah, but this was at Jackson High
Yeah,
School,
it's,
I think.
everything's
so.
all centrally located now at the Career Center.
So they would like to see something like what the manufacturers just pulled together.
Yeah,
happen
absolutely.
again.
Yeah, I know that manufacturing was where they were starting, but that
Mm-hmm.
the intent is to move into other fields as well. But it is a great example of how Jackson understands the importance of all skilled trades, not just careers that require a college education.
And I think it's a great example of how our business leaders have just taken a hold of it and said, how can we help and do something? And they've actually done something about it. I mean, that was pretty impressive when I heard about that. Has the Anchor Initiative had any influence on this at all, or is there?
I think it's certainly part of all the conversations that we're having as a community around working together. All of these efforts will make Jackson a better place to live. It will make us more attractive to businesses that are considering moving into the area. All of those things all fit together.
Are you looking for people to help volunteer on any of your committees?
Always. People are always welcome to join one of the action teams. As I mentioned before, there's early childhood, which is Great Start, elementary, middle school, high school, post-secondary, and a community engagement team. The action teams aren't for everybody. Some people really want to do hands-on volunteering. The action teams spend a lot of time digging through data, looking at research-based programming, looking for ways to kind of push the needle on some of these academic goals that we have. But there's lots of other opportunities in the community to volunteer if someone wants to support what's happening in education.
So if they wanted to support, like I know there's the reading day and stuff like that, is there one number they can call, or do they, I mean, that's kind of the problem I see in volunteering, is not having one central place to call and then having that dispersed. I know I've sent you a lot of leads, but.
Yeah, you're great at that. You're really great at that. One place that you can always go, whatever your interests are in volunteering, is the United Way has a website. There's a link to their website to their volunteering kind of a database where you can connect volunteers with volunteer opportunities. If you go to Jackson C2C, our website, there's also some links there that will take you to Energizing Education, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and you're always welcome to call your local schools and see what kind of volunteer opportunities they have directly in their schools.
And this is countywide, this is not just city, this is
Absolutely. It's
countywide. Is it even reaching beyond the county, or is it just strictly Jackson County?
Well, our county, we're county specific in terms
Okay.
of our reach.
And the other, there's other areas that are doing maybe the same thing,
Yes.
kind of pattern after Jackson.
Well, yeah, correct. Jackson C2C is considered a local college access network, and there's quite a few of those in the community. So I have peers across the state of Michigan doing similar work, where they're organizing and coordinating a strategic plan for in some cases for their county. Although Jackson's kind of rare that we're doing that whole cradle to career spectrum. Most of the local college access network coordinators are just working in one school or in one school district. Our influence is a lot bigger than that. We have,
You have all the superintendents involved.
That's correct.
and
Yep. Yep.
Pretty impressive. And aren't the superintendents doing some kind of joint advertising?
Yeah,
for
they are.
schools and-
Yeah, that's kind of a fun thing that's going on right now. It's called Your Connected Community Schools. And it's kind of a PR campaign that all the school districts are doing. And the goal of that is to get people to understand all the great things that are happening in public education in Jackson, and also to help illustrate how all of the school districts are working together, and all of them have common assets that anyone can enjoy.
Now, the Cradle to Career, though, encompasses not just public schools, but all schools, I assume?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, the education goals for the county are based on county level data. It's not school specific data. So when I'm looking at fourth grade MEP scores, I'm looking at the MEP scores for every child in Jackson County.
Whether
not-
it's a private school
Yeah,
or
whether it's
public
private,
school.
public, or charter.
Right, okay. What about homeschooling?
I don't know that, though. I'm not sure about that. I'm sorry to say. I can look into it for you, though.
Okay. I had another question, but it popped it. Anything else specific you want to talk about on it?
No, I'm glad that you asked about the valuable credential piece, because when people hear the word college, they're naturally just thinking of that traditional 4-year college experience. But we do have a lot of great resources and a lot of great coordination going on to really support that valuable credential piece, which is what we're calling it here in Jackson. Valuable credential can be anything from an apprenticeship, a journeyman, any education or training that someone gets after high school that makes them more marketable. We really want to see a workforce in Jackson that's ready to be employed. And that may be a college education, that may be some other post-secondary education. And we have a lot of great resources. We have Jackson Area Manufacturers Association, the Academy for Manufacturing Engineers, Jackson College, Baker College, in addition to what's going on at the Career Center. Lots of great resources for training outside of the traditional college degree.
God, I keep thinking of stuff as you talk, and then I forget. I should write it down. Greg, you got any questions?
Too many kids leaving the area? Are you finding that? Is that part of this?
Yeah, when you lose talent to other communities, that's really, really hard. I think a lot of the other things that are happening in Jackson right now is making Jackson more attractive to young people. There's now a very active young professionals group that is attracting young talent, people who work all over the community, kind of working together toward doing some activities together, things like that. But anything, the Anchor Initiative, any of the great stuff that's going on in our city or our county, all helps to keep that talent here in Jackson. And as the economy is improving, we're also seeing businesses being able to offer more jobs that are attractive to young, talented people.
But that's still the biggest question mark, isn't it? Jobs.
Filling jobs. Filling jobs. Having the qualified people to fill jobs.
Or having a job that you can survive on.
Well, maybe there's a middle that's missing. So there's the fast food, that level, retail, service industry. And then you have your higher education needs, like engineering is a huge shortage in this community. So I think that the manufacturers, what the business owners are doing with the middle college might be, there's a lot of need in that they can't fill.
That's what
That
I'm hearing
level.
from business leaders, is that they have skilled level jobs that are not being filled, and that in some cases are having to go outside of the community to get employees to fill those positions.
Right, and so so there's jobs out there, it's just whether or not our students are educated for those jobs.
Right.
If you're not educated,
So they're either not educated or over educated?
no.
Okay.
Well, part of the work of the network is having conversations about making sure that educators know what kind of skills young people need when they leave high school. And so anytime you get groups of people together and you're talking about these topics, you're going to find ways to have some symmetry there, some connections. Baker College does a really, really great job of staying in touch with what's going on locally and what the needs are, and they can turn things around really, really quick. They can get a program up and running and being able to fill a lot of jobs in a really short period of time. But business and education has to communicate. Otherwise,
What their needs are.
yeah, what their needs are. And we're working on some of those connections as a community. We're
Is that what the
working hard.
council represents? Because I'm on like Cradle to Career
Yeah.
Council, so
Yep.
tell everybody who's on the council.
So the Cradle to Career Coordinating Council is a body of people who represent all different sectors of the community. So while you, Laura, represent the city of Jackson, we have representatives from Jackson County government, from the Board of Commissioners, from the United Way, the Community Foundation, Baker College, Spring Arbor University, Jackson College, Jackson Area Manufacturers, Enterprise Group, all of these different entities that have influence over how we can make changes in education in our community. Naturally, leaders from schools as well, the Intermediate School District, the Jackson County Superintendents, all of those people are represented. So we have people who are capable of making systems level change in our community that are all part of that coordinating council. The coordinating council then participates, every action team has a coordinating council member on it, so that they're help making that connection between what goes on in the action team level back up to the coordinating council, which is kind of the decision-making systems level change body, whereas the action teams are working more on strategies and really digging into local data to see where the needs are and where we might have the greatest impact.
I haven't been put on an action team yet.
I'm still thinking about that.
You're nervous. Have you seen a change? Have they seen a change in education level from back in the 70s, from when I graduated? It seemed to me that everybody went and got a job, even if the economy went down. They moved to Texas, which is what we didn't want to see. But
Right.
is there been a have they looked at trends?
I have not looked at trends that far back.
Okay.
I mean, job needs have certainly changed a lot, and it depends on what sector
Right.
of business you're looking at.
Right. Interesting. But I think it's a great.
Did you go to Texas?
I did not go
Oh.
to Texas. I stayed here.
Just curious.
Yeah, you're homegrown, aren't you?
I'm homegrown, stayed here,
That's great.
visited Ann Arbor a little bit, but other than that.
And I'm a transplant. I came from Oakland County, and I love Jackson. I just
yeah.
think it's a really wonderful community.
You know, Jackson it's a small community. We just had something happen on Friday, and I can't say what it is, but you know,
come
someone
on.
picked up the personal, and someone
Oh.
picked up the phone, called my sister, and you know, that just doesn't happen in a big community.
Look, they're calling now.
There you go. The community's calling. You know, it's just like Jackson High students all helped with leaf
With the leaf
pickup.
pickup, that was great.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that.
I saw
It
you
was
were out
exhausting.
raking yourself, too.
I was raking.
Yeah, Jackson High is a great example of kids getting connected back to the community. I was in Jackson High several times this week. It was college application week.
Oh, okay.
So it's a week where school counselors and advisors and the College and Career Access Center advisors are all helping kids fill out college applications, helping them explore other education opportunities, including armed forces, if they're not interested in attending a traditional college. And I met a lot of kids at Jackson High over the course of 2 days volunteering there, and what a great bunch of kids.
Oh yeah, it was interesting. I've been to their AP class when the Austrian students were here too, and that was a lot of fun. In fact, I saw one of the kids at the leaf pickup, and I said, "Hey, weren't you in that class?" But it's a great town. It really is a great town. So those people who don't recognize it yet, hopefully will recognize it.
Oh, I think so. I think so.
So anyhow, we are at the end of our time, and I've got to talk a little bit about real estate. I'm trying to look to see what I've got going here. It looks like 411 West Morale is reduced down to 69.5, and that's a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath house, 2,200 square feet. It is a cool brick house, detached garage, fenced yard. Actually, I think it's 2 full bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see, what else do we have that's... Oh, here we go. I feel disorganized. We got 5515 Kibbe Road that's reduced down to 127.9, and that's Western Schools, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. Irene, how do we get a hold of you if anybody has, or how does we go to the United Way website if you want to volunteer?
Yeah, United Way website,
For
if you're
volunteering.
looking for volunteering opportunities, you can also go to Energizing Education, Big Brothers Big Sisters, or go to c2cjackson.org, and there'll be some links on our website to connect you to
And it's
opportunities.
the number 2.
That's correct. C, numeral 2C.
Okay.
Correct.
.org.
Correct.
Okay.
And we have a Facebook page as well.
All right. And if you need real estate needs, call me. 780-3800. And don't forget about the Artsy Fartsy Marketplace. Grand opening is November 20th. Party is 5 to 9. And then the hours start for shopping on Saturday the 22nd, 11 to 7. Tuesday through Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 4. At the Vermeulen's building.
I'm gonna run